Parliament of the Fourth Republic would have been dissolved and the Ninth Parliament would be constituted ahead of the swearing in. So know that today is a very packed day, so our conversations are also going to be very packed. We'll bring you everything you need to know about the swearing in, all that has transpired up until now. So you want to keep your TV logged here on ABC News GH so that you don't miss out on anything. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, we'll bring you our front story. Stay with us. Back and still watching ABC in the morning, heading straight into our front story. On Thursday, January 3, 2025, President-elect John Dramani Mahama officially unveiled the interim National Security Coordinating Team, signaling the beginning of his efforts to restore stability following a turbulent post-election period. And the country remains quite on edge after a series of violent incidents, including besieging of key public institutions and the invasion of private properties by some politically aligned groups. The primary objective of the interim National Security Team is to restore order and public confidence in state security forces. Recent post-election violence, particularly the invasion of the National Ghana Gas Company Limited by irate youth from the National Democratic Congress, underscored the urgent need for such an intervention. Addressing the post-election violence remains a national imperative, not just for restoring peace, but also for ensuring the legitimacy of the incoming government. Civil society organizations such as the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, have warned that if unchecked, this violence could erode the foundations of democratic governance. Ongoing investigations into the post-election violence have become a focal point of national discourse, and the Ghana Police Service has launched inquiries into the siege of the Ghana Gas Company and other related incidents. According to some preliminary reports, evidence points to organized mobilization by some political actors. Legal proceedings against those involved are expected to begin soon. And as Ghana moves towards the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama, the formation of this interim National Security Coordination Team represents a critical step towards restoring public order and trust. However, its success will largely depend on how swift and effective it can act. Beyond immediate containment efforts, the new team must prioritize long-term reforms and foster collaboration across political divides. So let's read the press statement or the press release that informed the public of the interim National Security Coordination Team that the President-elect put together. And it was signed by Felix Kwachio Fosu, who is the special aide. President-elect John Dramani Mahama has announced a 6-member team to oversee and coordinate national security issues pending substantive appointments. Former Minister for the Interior, Prosper Douglas Bani, will lead the team. Their mandate begins on Tuesday, January 7, 2025. Other members of the team include Lieutenant General Peter Augustine Blay, retired, former Chief of Defense Staff; Kofi Totobi-Kwache, former Minister for National Security; Larry Bevlolate, Esquire, former National Security Coordinator; Brigadier General Hussein Idrisu, retired; and COP Nathaniel Kofi Boache. Let's take a look at the functions of the National Security Council under our 1992 Constitution. So the Article 84 of the 1992 Constitution outlines the functions of the National Security Council. The functions of the National Security Council include: A, considering and taking appropriate measures to safeguard the internal and external security of Ghana; B, ensuring the collection of information relating to the security of Ghana and the integration of the domestic, foreign, and security policies relating to it, so as to enable the security services and other departments and agencies of the government to cooperate more effectively in matters relating to national security. C, assessing and appraising the objectives, commitments, and risks of Ghana in relation to the actual and potential military power of the interest of national security; and D, taking appropriate measures regarding the consideration of policies on matters of common interest to the departments and agencies of the government concerned with the security or the national security. And these are the functions of the national security under the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. And the president-elect has constituted this, and they will take effect from Tuesday, January 7, after he has been sworn in as president. The same constitution makes provision for the national security, and this is found in Article 83. The national security there shall be a National Security Council which shall consist of: A, the President; B, the Vice President; C, the ministers for the time holding the portfolios of Foreign Affairs, Defense, Interior, and Finance, and such other ministers as the President may determine; the Chief of Defense Staff, and other 2 members of the Armed Forces; E, the Inspector General of Police, and other 2 members of the police service, one of whom shall be the Commissioner of Police responsible for Criminal Investigations Department; F, the Director General of the Prison Service; G, the Director of External Intelligence; H, the Director of Internal Intelligence; I, the Director of Military Intelligence; J, the Commissioner of Customs, Excise, and Preventive Service; and K, 3 persons appointed by the President. The President shall preside at meetings of the National Security Council, and in his absence, the Vice President shall preside. The President may, acting in consultation with the National Security Council, invite such persons as he considers necessary for any deliberations of the Council, and a person invited to participate in the deliberations of the Council under Clause 3 of this article shall not vote on any matter of decision before the Council. The National Security Council shall regulate the procedure at its meetings. And finally, the Secretary of the Cabinet shall be the Secretary of the National Security Council. So the National Security Council has expression under the Constitution, and it is found under Article 83 and Article 84 of the Constitution. Article 84 outlines the work that the National Security Council will do, and the president-elect has constituted his interim National Security Coordinating Team that will take effect from tomorrow, January 7. The members of this interim security coordinating team are Prosper Douglas Barney, who will be heading the team, Lieutenant General Peter Augustine Blay, Kofi Totobi Kwache, Larry Gbevlo-Lartey, Brigadier General Fuseini, and COP Nathan Kofi Boache. They are part of this security team, and the NPP has accused Kofi Totobi Kwache and Larry Gbevlo-Lartey of inciting post-elections violence. These two persons, who are among the coordinating team that the president-elect has put together, the NPP has accused them of inciting post-election violence. We'll look at some of the issues of post-election violence in this country. Following the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election, there was some post-election violence that reared its head. Following that, the Emil Short Commission was put together to investigate this violence there, and they also released their report on the violence. In 2020, the Techiman South violence that followed the 2020 general elections is also one election-related violence that still is prominent in this time. And every time we speak about election violence, we make reference to that. 2024 elections has also not been without its own issues. It came up with its own violence. It's come with its own violence and all, and because of this, conversations have come up about it. This interim national security team that the president-elect has put together, will it be able to do the work as people are looking forward to? Will it be able to do the work that many are expecting them to do? But let's look at Gbevlo-Lartey and Totobi Kwache, whom the NPP say that orchestrated post-election violence. The NPP in Parliament, the majority in Parliament at the moment, have said that Totobi Kwache, former Minister for National Security, and Larry Gbevlo-Lartey, former National Security Coordinator, orchestrated post-election violence, and this post-election violence involve thugs who were linked to the NDC, and the NPP claimed that the numerous violent election incidences that occurred after the 2024 elections, which included the attack on government appointees and state institutions, and some thuggery that we saw, were carried out by NDC members under the supervision or under the orchestration of Larry Gbevlo-Lartey and Totobi Kwache. This was done when the Deputy Majority Leader, Patricia Eji, expressed concerns about the ongoing violence and said that these persons were behind it. And I quote, she said, "We have received reliable intelligence indicating that acts of violence and thugs are being orchestrated by certain elements of the NDC leadership. Totobi Kwache and Colonel Larry Gbevlo-Lartey retired are the key leaders who are behind these NDC thugs and inspiring them to violence against innocent Ghanaians. Even more troubling is information suggesting that they intensified these violent acts immediately after swearing off the president-elect John Dramani Mahama." And these are some of the allegations that came up. And Majority Chief Whip Frank Anodompre also urged President-elect John Dramani Mahama to exhibit leadership by ending all of these issues. So after all of these two people have been found to be part of the interim National Security Coordination Team by President-elect John Dramani Mahama. So many will raise questions about whether the NPP's allegations have any merit, or whether the President-elect having these persons on his National Security Coordination Team sends a wrong signal to Ghanaians. Does it go to say that what the NPP have alleged is without merit, or because these are the persons he wants to work with, whether it has merit or not, he will work with them? Does it also inspire any confidence in the coordinating team, since two people who have been accused of inciting violence following the elections are found on this coordinating team? They begin their work tomorrow. Will Ghanaians have any confidence in this team as they begin their work? And what are Ghanaians also expecting of this national security team to do when they begin their work tomorrow? We have seen certain security concerns in the country following the elections, post the elections, the violence that erupted. Will this team be able to put together a very solid national security? Will they be able to put together that in the interim? We'll look at all of that. We will be looking at all of that. But the president has put together his interim national security coordinating team, and it contains quite a number of people. Let's have conversation with Richard Kumado. He is a security consultant. Good morning, Richard, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
The president-elect has put together the interim national security coordinating team. What will be the immediate steps they should take to restore public confidence in Ghana's security forces?
I think that would be premature and that would be too early. Why? Because if you look at the letter that announced them, the letter says that their work starts on Tuesday, 7th January. Right. And we are talking of the 6th of January. Even with the letter, I think 1 minute after 12 midnight today means 7th January. The letter did not categorically state that, but it said they will coordinate activities. So the question we are asking is it from 1 a.m. midnight, or from what time exactly on Tuesday? Having said that, three things are going to happen. One is either they will be the one responsible for the inauguration, or it will be the current state apparatus head that will be responsible for the inauguration, after we don't hand over to them, or they are going to do it together. Then afterwards, they take decisions around national security and national security operations. It is at that point, then all issues about national security institutions and operations will fall solely under them. But for now, I think what they may be doing is to have deliberations and have discussions to, one, take over and know the stock of national security assets, and number two, to understand where we are now so that they can take off from there after tomorrow.
Two persons on this coordinating team have been accused for being the instigators or the brains behind the thuggery perpetuated after and post the 2024 elections. Do you think that it inspires any confidence in this team that the president-elect has put together?
Is it because they have been accused?
Well, yes.
Is there an evidence to that effect?
There's an accusation by the NPP.
You remember one of the names that missed this public accusation was Kofi Boakye. You remember his name keep on coming from Kumasi. You remember?
Yes.
Oh, you haven't heard one to me accusing Kofi Boakye publicly?
But
So
in this case, Kofi Boakye is not the one who has been accused. Totobi
no,
Kwache.
the point I'm making is that one of the ones that did not make it, I was so surprised, is Kofi Boakye, because his name keep on coming from Kumasi. The point I'm making is that I think somebody might be afraid of these personalities,
okay,
and that is why they are throwing their name in the public domain. Number two, to the extent that their names have been mentioned specifically, it will be important that IGP moves in as quickly as possible to investigate and find out the accusations against them and whether they are true or they are not. And if they are true, there should be some sanctions, even though they are serving on the National Security Committee board. But as to whether it will weigh the confidence down, there's about 6 people there. And when you look at Blay is a distinguished personality. When you look at Hussein, it's a distinguished personality. When you look at Bani, it's a distinguished personality. And I think there's one other person before the other two. Totobi Kwache has been the National Security Advisor. Gabriel Lati has had a 64 and has been a security coordinator. So these are people who know what they are about, who know their job. But to the extent that there has been an accusations against them, I would seriously recommend the IGP looks into it as quickly as possible, since nobody is above the law, so we could deal with it going forward.
Well, since a new government will be constituted following tomorrow's swearing in, how can this government effectively depoliticize our security sector to prevent future incidents?
No, it has helped them in several ways. They will not do anything about it. They will hand it over to the new government. They won't do anything about it. One
so we are not going to see a depoliticization.
Yeah, one of the things we have done over the years, from the year 2000 when Kufuor took over the reign of this country, that is what has happened. The security agencies have never realigned, and they deliberately did it so to suit political power. So now that they are leaving power, I will not even be surprised that many of the boys who they used following them to create chaos all over the place, they might have pushed them into many of their state institutions, and that is why you are hearing their last-minute appointments and appointment letters all over the place. And it has been a usual practice in Ghana here. Tomorrow to leave, they will never do anything about politicization until the new government comes. So you can ask of that from
so the new government. I'm asking, how can the new government effectively depoliticize the security sector?
I think it's going to be about decision. It's going to be about political will. It's going to be about doing it properly. But then again, on the campaign trail, you heard President Mahama saying some things about people recruitment, 24-hour economy. You see, he wants to recruit 25,000 police officers. With the 25,000 police officers, I don't have problem who works at anywhere. The criteria has to be set, and people have to meet the standardization. Until we are able to do that, these whole politicians flooding people into the law enforcement agencies and into some other places, it's going to continue for a while.
What will be the criteria and the standardization?
The criteria is that there are standards you must meet before you are recruited into the security agencies. When I was going into the BNI, we were over 4,000 people who applied for the first time, and we wrote the exam. After 3 years of background checks, they pick only 4 of us.
Okay.
Today, no criteria is set. All manner of persons get in there, and that is where the problem is. We have a standard criteria for getting admitted into the BNI to serve your nation. Until we are able to live to expectation and follow suit, we are going to continue to have problems. But I am thinking something can be done about it.
Richard, following the announcement or the declaration of the presidential results, we saw that many party persons, especially from the news, from the NDC, besieging some of the national companies like the Ghana Gas and the others, so that they will take over the control of such places. What measures should we be putting in place?
No, you are twisting it. NPP people are stealing fertilizer. They are stealing assets like excavators, and the NDC guys went there to protect it. You have failed as a nation. Your democracy is not working. The NDC guys want to pay back the NPP people just like what they did in 2016. So if it is not good in 2016, let's say it is not good and let's stop it.
Okay, so let me come back.
Hold on. Number 3, I have always recommended that Papa police will need to be aggressive in the public space whether NDC or MPP, those who flout the law, get them arrested, prosecute them. That's the only way it's going to serve as deterrence to politicians announcing to us they have wind power. And the only way to show to us that they have wind power is to seize state assets and drive people out of their offices, because that has been the norm from 2016.
Okay. Let's look at the swearing in and the coordination for the swearing in. The team has asked that no flying of drones should happen at the place, whether domestic or commercial. They've outlined certain things that we must follow going into the swearing in. From a security point of view, do you think that they have covered all of the bases to give us a very effective swearing in ceremony tomorrow?
I do what we call protective surveillance, and I'm an expert in it. I think the whole country, with those with expertise, are few. But sister, I can tell you for a fact that there's something we are not looking at properly. When it comes to occasions such as this, predominantly it's supposed to be for the state. But today, or years back from President Kufuor's time again in the year 2000, we have politicians having a predominant role in terms of the design, in terms of the setup, in terms of the architecture. If something goes wrong, who do we hold responsibility? Who do we hold responsible? Who will be accountable? I am thinking that it should be the state protocol who will outline the modalities for politicians to follow. But I believe they have created so much flexibility that politicians come in there. My only hope and prayer is that whatever design we are using today or tomorrow, it should be in consonance with state protocol security guidelines, so that we wouldn't have too much politicians in there where they flash some of the things or they lower it down and the security have to struggle to catch up with them. As a nation, where we learn this democracy from, these are some of the things we do not learn from them, and we are having challenges. We need to go back and learn this particular aspect from them, that these are the standardization we set for ourselves for inauguration. These are the standardization we set for national funeral, national celebrations, and many of those ones. The casualty at which we do things in this country, it is creating problem, and one day it might create a problem for us. My only hope and prayer is that they will work together to pull this one off tomorrow.
Okay. During the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's State of the Nation address, his aide-de-camp collapsed at some point during the address. Some have raised concerns about a colonel being the ADC, and that he's at least quite advanced in years, and that a younger person should be. Do what they say hold any water?
May God bless you. I'll bring you a certificate. This is the best question you've asked me in the whole of 2025. It has been a major issue. But this government, again, the security structure they run is a cake. It doesn't make sense. You say the disgrace and the humiliation. What you just said is the perfect scenario. The one standing behind him is not supposed to be the one. But they flouted it, and they used it for all these years. This is the end. And it's going to go in history as one of the worst we've ever witnessed in this country. That whole approach, that having military people standing behind Africa presidents, is an archaic approach that needs to be looked at again across the nations of the world. When I was with the BNI, what we usually do is that we know there's going to be parliamentary event. We go 3 days ahead to sweep the place and to secure the place. So once we secure the place and we know who has come in and who has not come in, it makes no sense that somebody should stand behind the president. Even when the man fell, they did not prepare for contingency and crisis management. So some people were dragging him on the floor. And if what we are hearing is true, that the man died, then we fail the man and fail his family, and as a nation we fail. I seriously do not believe people standing behind Africa president, because it's an archaic strategy. But what we have done, it is wrong, and it is wrong, and I agree with you that those who are saying it is wrong, it is wrong. Let's change it and make sure we do it properly going forward.
If we are doing it properly, what will be the proper way?
The proper way is that one of the difficulties we have after President Rawlings left power, The 64 regiment which Babulati led was disintegrated. So as a nation, we do not have any institution, any agency, or any unit or individual that selects security protocols for VIPs and VVIPs in this country, sister. So when you go to the office of the president today, you will see more family people and a lot more political people and fewer security protocols. They have outnumbered them and outview them. It is a dangerous phenomenon that if we don't change it, we'll have problems. If we don't like what happens in Israel and what happens in Russia and UK and the US, then let's look at a combination of it and set up a standard procedure and a standardization, something that looks similar to the Musketeers in Russia or the Secret Service in the US, so that we can have a proper selection and a criteria classification and meeting of that standard, so that people can be assigned in that regard. Other than that, what we are doing is artificial and it doesn't make sense and it's creating problem for us.
Well, Richard, we are grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Richard Kumado is a security expert. He's been helping us on the conversation about the president-elect setting up National Security Coordinating Team ahead of tomorrow. And it was signed by the aide, Felix Kwache, who says that their work begins tomorrow. That's our forefront story. We'll be back with more conversations following our break. When we are back, Derek Mikisedu has the latest in sports. After that, Eric Melutrineba will bring us some tech tricks. Stay with us.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the sports segment on ABC in the morning. Remember, you're streaming live on YouTube at ABC News GH. Let's do some sports now. Now, Asante Kotoko head coach Prosper Nate Ogum shared his disappointment on Sunday after his side's 1-1 draw with Mediama Sporting Club in the Ghana Premier League. Now, the two top clubs settled for a point each after a closely contested match at the TNA Stadium. The result ended Kotoko's four-game winning strike, whilst denying Mediama a chance to secure the consecutive victories under the interim coach Evans Adote. Now, Kwame Opoku gave Kotoko the lead in the 44th minute, continuing his impressive form with goals in successive games since his return to the club. However, Mediama found their rhythm after the break, with coach Adote's tactical changes proving decisive. Substitute Kamara Dini leveled the score midway through the second half, pouncing on the defensive lapse to the delight of the home crowd. Now, speaking in his post-match interview, Kotoko coach Prosper Nate Ogum said his team should have bagged all 3 points.
We just have to take it game by game. We came here, we've gotten a point. We have to focus on the next game. The next game is the most important game. And it's a league. We have more games to play in the second round. We have one more game to play in the first round. So we just have to focus on our next game. That's the most important.
Still on the Ghana Premier League side, Accra Lions have been charged with misconduct by the Ghana Football Association (GFA) following comments made on the club's social media about match officials in their game against Dreams FC. Now, the Week 16 encounter held on Sunday, January 5, saw Accra Lions suffer a narrow 1-0 defeat to Dreams FC during the game, especially in the second half before Dreams FC equalized. Accra Lions, through several posts on X, accused the referees of favouring the opponent in an official notice issued by the GFA. The association stated Accra Lions have been charged with a breach of Section 34, Clause 6D of the GFA Premier League Regulations 2019. Now, following their Ghana Premier League game against Dreams FC, it is alleged that the club's social media commentary on the match officials of the said game constitute misconduct that brings the name of the game into disrepute. Now, Accra Lions have been given until Wednesday, January 8, 2025 to officially respond to the charge. Now, away from that, yesterday's Premier League action, Liverpool missed the opportunity to extend their lead to 8 points, drawing 2-2 with Manchester United at Anfield. Now, Lisandro Martinez put United ahead, but Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah turned the game around for Liverpool. Martinez struck again to give United a second half lead, only for Gakpo to equalize, followed by Salah's penalty, now which seemed to have secured the victory for Liverpool and the potential 8-point advantage at the top. However, amidst late strike and a draw for United, much to the delight of their travelling supporters, the result gave some hope to Robin Amorim side, lifting them above West Ham into 13th place in the dying second. Harry Maguire nearly snatched the win for United, but his shots sealed over the bar. Well, that's how we wrap up for the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to ABC in the morning. It's time to do some tech news. A happy new year to you. And as we begin 2025, it is the perfect time to look at how technology is impacting one of the most important aspects. Mental health. I'm Eric Chinibwa-Melo, and today we're diving into how tech is playing a huge role in supporting mental well-being. So let's get straight into it. So the first one has to do with AI-driven therapy app. Now the first app is, as I said earlier, AI-driven technology app. So let's talk about how AI is transforming mental health care. So over the past few years, artificial intelligence has rapidly become a powerful tool in offering emotional support. Now apps such as Webuild and Replike and Wise to use AI to also simulate therapeutic conversations and guiding users through techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy to manage anxiety, stress, or depression. Now, the best part is that these apps are available 24/7, meaning that you can also get support anytime you need it, and whether it's late or at night, or perhaps during a stressful moment, it is a very conducive thing to use. Now, it's like having a therapist right in your pocket, also ready to provide personalized help whenever you need it. Technology really indeed has advanced. Again, we do have wearable tech for monitoring mental health. Now, but this doesn't also stop them, because wearable technology is also having a significant impact in or on our mental health, and devices like Apple Watch and Hoop and or Ring aren't just tracking your steps, and they are also monitoring your emotional health as well. Now, these wearable measures things like heart rate variability, sleep patterns, and stress levels throughout the day, helping you to stay on top of your mental well-being. Now, imagine receiving an alert when your stress level is rising, giving you the chances to also give actions, whether that's practically deep breathing, or mindful. Now, this wearable helps you to stay connected to your emotional state in real-time life, which is quite interesting. Indeed, as I say, technology really has advanced and also is having some impact on the mental health. Another aspect we're tackling is the telehealth and virtual therapy that technology has provided. Now, another game changer which has actually emerged after the rise of tech health is the platform like Better Health and Talkspace. It has also made to also give easier access and even more connect with licensed therapists remotely. So whether you are in your rural area or simply the comfort of your home, these platforms allows you to access professional therapy sessions without the need of an in-person visit, and this makes mental health care much more accessible and removing such barriers like time, location, and stigma that comes or sometimes may make you feel quite uncomfortable when seeing your therapist. So technology indeed is making an impact not just on our society, but mentally is making sure that we are stable and makes everything conducive. Again, why technology matters here is the fact that, so we all know that this is very important because technology has a potential to revolutionize mental health care by making it more affordable and accessible to a broader audience. Now, traditional therapy can also be expensive, and not quite everyone has easy access to mental health care professionals. And so with the use of AI apps and wearable and tech telehealth options, we can also be able to offer on-demand help to anyone with a smartphone or perhaps an interest in connecting regardless of the location or financial situation. So this means that more people can get help when they need it, and it would be quite very interesting if you also could try that this new year, so you can at least limit the stress that you go through day to day just because you want to seek health care or perhaps you want to visit a therapist. Again, challenges and considerations however, that as with the telecommunications and perhaps technology, there are some challenges. While AI and app provide great convenience, they can't also fully replace the human connections that in-person therapy offers. But a live therapist can also pick up on things like perhaps body language and tone of voice nuisance that AI still also struggles to detect. So these tools should be seen as complementary to not just a replacement for face-to-face care, but also about about finding the right balance in terms of seeking medical help and also making sure that your mental health is at better, function. Again, looking ahead, the future of mental health and tech really is important. Now, what's next about this? So looking into the future, we can expect even more innovative solutions. So, for instance, virtual reality therapy is already being used to help people confront their fears in controlled and immersive environments. So this would also soon be expanded to treat conditions like PTSD, anxiety, and phobias. And imagine it being guided through a VR experience where you're gradually exposed to your triggers and in being very safe and controlled way with a professional therapist by your side, helping you to navigate through it. Isn't that really quite interesting? Well, that's the impact of technology these days, and it's having an impact also on our mental health. So in conclusion, as we move into 2025, it's very clear that technology will continue to play a major role in how we manage our mental health, from AI-powered therapy apps to wearable, tracking systems to our emotional state. These innovations are making mental health care more accessible, affordable, and personalized. But we must also remember that technology is a tool, not a replacement for real human connection. So in as much as we're managing with technology, it's quite important that you also sometimes visit the facility where you want to seek medical help. And the future of mental care will also likely to be blended with tech and traditional therapy, so working hand in hand to provide you a more comprehensive approach to your well-being. So as we embrace these innovations, let's also remember the importance of human connection and community support and reaching out for a professional care when needed. So here's to a healthier, more tech-assisted 2025. And thank you for joining us on Tech Trick. Today, I am Eric Chinibwa Meadow. The show continues shortly after this break. Do stay.